Hello, everyone. We're going to take 1 or 2 minutes to continue to let people in. As you come in, if you can please put your name and your organization in the chat, that would be helpful in order for us to take attendance. We're going to just hold 1 more minute as people come in. They're putting their name in the chat and their organization for our attendance purposes. That would be very helpful. We appreciate it. We should have at least 34 names in the chat. One more minute. If our CPS partners. Okay. All right, Patty, we're going to go ahead and get started. It is 11:02. Thank you for coming to the Wendell Phillips Academy School Annex pre-bid meeting. We appreciate everyone's attendance. We're going to go over a couple of the housekeeping rules. Hold on 1 second. We're just going to make sure this screen, Patty's going to go to a different screen so we can see the whole presentation on one. Meanwhile, if you have questions during the presentation, so make sure you add them in the chat. We are going to go over our procurement fundamentals. After that, we will go into the tech review. And make sure, again, you put your name in the chat. Perfect, Patty. We're going to go ahead to the housekeeping rules. Please keep your computer on mute for a second. However, you're going to unmute yourself shortly because we're going to go ahead and do introductions. My name is Lori Lipson. I am the Chief of Staff for the Public Building Commission, and we have a couple of our partners on the call. We have our Executive Director, Karina Sanchez, Ray Gitteroff, our Chief Development Officer. You'll hear from Cal Lejeune, which is our design guru. We have Randy, which will be our project manager on the construction side. We have Patricia Montenegro, who is our contract officer, and many, many more from PBC. We also have from our client, I saw Jessica from CPS join for our call, and we have our consultants, which is the Moody Nolan Dream Team that is a part in their consultant. But right now we're going to go ahead and go into our pre-qualified bidders. I am going to go ahead and read off. If you are in the meeting, please say that you're here as I go through the list. I'm going to start with Albright Construction, Barton Mallow Company, Berglund. I know I saw somebody from Berglund. Okay, no Berglund. Blenderman, Burling Builders,
Dawn Bonema, Joe Target.
Thank you. Burling Builders. Clark Construction, Development Solutions, FH Passion.
Here.
Was that Tom? I missed his voice.
Yeah, this is Tom.
Okay, thank you. Friedler. Solid,
This is Ashley. I'm here.
thank you. Henry Brothers. Hunt. McHugh. K.R. Miller. Madison. Old Vet. Path. Power. Power and Sons. Turner. Tyler Lane. Ujamaa. Veneer. W.E. O'Neill. Walsh. Aldridge. Brandenburg. Broadway. Frederick Quinn. John Burns. Oak. Poulos. R.T. Millord. Reliable. Lumber Company. Did I miss any of our pre-qualified general contractors?
McHugh is here.
And who is that from McHugh?
Carrie.
Okay,
Hi,
Yeah.
Laurie. Andy with K.R. Miller.
okay. Hi, Andy. K.R. Miller.
Hi, Laurie.
Perfect. So I have Burling, Passion, Solid, McHugh, K.R. Miller. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go into our procurement details for this project. This project is located at 244 East Pershing Road. We will go into more details about the scope of work, but it's approximately 21,000 square feet athletic annex with some supporting spaces. There's some existing school renovation. There's a new parking lot and some associated site development for this project. The time of completion, we're gonna go over that in detail when we go over our phasing plan. But as you can see, schedule for milestone 1 is August 5th. The substantial completion is March 30th of 2022. And then a couple months later is milestone 2 for May 31st, 2022. And you can see the associated liquid damages on your screen. Again, we have a project opportunities page. Most of all the general contractors have received their prints from Aloha Print Group Plan Room. And it's also detailed on our project opportunities page. We have a list of assist agencies that also have the plans. And if you need help, if you're a subcontractor, general contractor, please avail yourself to those services. This project, we will have the tech review right after I go over the procurement details. This school is currently in session. There is no site visit. However, you can avail yourself and go down the street and drive by if you want a firsthand look at the school. But the school access is restricted, but you are allowed, of course, as a City of Chicago person to drive around the school and take a look. Again, the sole point of contact is Patricia Montenegro. You can contact her at the email. Questions, we are hopeful and prayerful that you will listen to this pre-bid meeting and submit your questions by May 24th by end of day. So far, there's no addendum that has been issued, but as usual, Patty will notify you, but more importantly for everyone, they are all listed on the project opportunity page, and we will be sending out a PBC alert to alert those as well. Currently, the bid due date is June 2nd at 11 a.m. It will be streamed virtually. I know yesterday we had a bid opening. We hopefully resolved the issue, but at any time when you go to our homepage, there's two buttons. There's Facebook and there's also YouTube. You can click on either one to get the live stream of the bid opening. And hopefully within the hour or two after the bid opening, the video of that opening will be linked back to the project opportunities page as well. We are hopeful, and we have been doing a great job of getting electronic bids. We still are letting people turn in hard copies, but we certainly prefer the electronic version. It's very helpful. You can get an immediate confirmed receipt from Patty. You're going to make sure you send it to bids@pbcchicago.com and Patty's email as well. We will have a pre-award meeting before our board meeting. So you're going to make sure that you're going to follow all those rules. And again, you're going to bring your sub-consultant so it's not a surprise. So as soon as the bids are read, most of you can figure out if you are possibly the lowest responsible bidder. You want to take a look at that and start gathering your team before you get an email from Patty to have a virtual meeting with us to discuss your bid. We anticipate this to go to our June board currently. We're going to go over a couple things in book 1 and book 2. The construction budget for this project is $10.2 million. We are anticipating for a project staffing that you will have a project manager and a project superintendent for this project. We are including our typical scheduling software. We typically use P6. If you have something different, you need to submit so we can bless it. Liquidated damages we talked about in a previous slide. And again, this is subject to the PLA that CPS has, and you can look at that online as well. For this particular project, you're going to ensure that when you're filling out book 1, we had a few issues on it yesterday. You're going to make sure that you fill out these 2 critical subs, which is the stormwater detention tank and the elevator. And in this blank, you want to put actually who will be doing it, not who will be managing it. We would like to know who is actually performing the work. We also want to make sure that if you're deemed the lowest responsive bidder, that we will be asking for documentation, as you can see, and we will talk about it at our pre-award for those long lead items, and with those a written statement confirming their understanding. So make sure if you're the lowest responsive bidder that this will be coming as soon as we have our pre-award meeting. Again, we are going to, excuse me, encourage joint ventures. There's a Schedule B that is included in book 1. Hold on one second. Oh, that sounded terrible. Sorry about that. Book 1 has a joint venture agreement. On our last bid, we had a couple people partnered together. We are looking for that. If you have a chance, please look at our procurement opportunities page. You can see a video that we have. We have Senator Hunter excited about the project. She submitted a video, and we also have a video from Principal Sullivan. And Senator and Alderman Dow's real goal for this project is to make sure that's a reflection of their community. So really take a look and think about some joint venture opportunity, partner opportunity for this. If you're joint venturing with an MBE or WBE, make sure you attach the certification letter as well. Again, you're going to make sure when Patty sends out that bid form that you fill out the award criteria. I think at a previous bid, especially when you're doing it electronically, you want to make sure you do both sheets. So one sheet has the bid form and the other sheet has the award criteria. So you want to make sure if you're using Excel that you look at both sheets for that. For this project, we're going to ensure that we have 50% city residency and 7.5% community hiring. And Patty's going to go to the next slide to show the map. As you can see, it's in the Grand Boulevard neighborhood. And we're going to ensure that the community residents are from these 6 community areas that will count toward community hiring. Again, this is the bid form. Patty, why don't you go over it?
Certainly, Lori, I apologize, I was on mute. But book 1 contains the bid form, and essentially the bidders will populate the area shaded in purple with the base work only, and then the contingency and the allowances, those figures are automatically populated. So those will be part of your calculation on the total base bid line, which would then, if you're using the electronic Excel sheet, will automatically populate into this orange space here. And then when you do the award criteria sheet, your award criteria figure will populate into the green space. And please ensure that you complete the surety information and the bidder's information that is located below. For screen purposes, we split the bid form in 2, but this is one complete document. And so bidders should populate the purple, and they should populate the surety bidder's information. Are you, Laura, are you ready to go back?
I'm back. I'm sorry, my allergies are intense.
All right.
So again, we're going to base it on the lowest responsive bidder for the award criteria. So we're going to make sure of that. And again, you're going to make sure you fill out the light green sections, which is minority journey workers, apprentice labor. Same thing for female journey workers, apprentice and labor. And you're going to make sure you fill out your bidder information. For this project, the goals are 28 MBE, 4% WBE. And again, we want to emphasize that we want to make sure it's a reflection of this community. We accept certifications from Cook County and the city of Chicago. We're going to go over the MBE and WBE. You're going to make sure you fill out a Schedule D. And with your Schedule D form, you're going to put all the firms that are going to be part of your M and WBE plan. You're going to really take notice if you use suppliers or distributors and make sure you put the correct percentage for your teams. And you're going to make sure that you have 28 and 4. And again, that is the minimum. That's not the maximum. Let's say you have a joint venture, you might have 70% participation. Who knows? We want to make sure we fill that out. And then your corresponding Schedule DC form, you're going to fill it out with the subcontractor. The area that people miss often is that subcontracting level that Patty's has her mouse around that's highlighted in green. You're going to make sure you indicate if you're subbing anything out. So PBC's contact is Patty. You're going to make sure you email her with any of your procurement questions, anything related to this bid. So we are going to go ahead and turn it over so you don't hear me coughing and sneezing with my allergies. Turn it over for our technical review. We will go over the slides for those. And again, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. I could probably respond better in the chat than how I'm speaking right now for any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Rachel from Moody Nolan. She's going to share her screen and go over some of the sheets that we have in the drawings, and we have some of our subcontractors as well to go into additional details. So I'll turn it over to Rachel.
Hello. Rachel Cooper here. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay.
Yes, better than me. Yes.
Okay, great. I'm just going to run as quickly as possible through the drawings. So again, welcome to the pre-bid for Wendell Phillips Academy High School Annex. Starting with the site plan. So this site is located at the existing Wendell Phillips Historic High School location, located on East Pershing Road and Giles Avenue. The current existing building is 3.5 stories. The new building shown to the top left of your screen is our annex. It will be a 2-story gymnasium with a Hall of Fame entrance, totaling 21,260 square feet. We'll provide 51 new parking spaces. A transformer is located on the site already, and we will add a fence. There's also an existing masonry trash enclosure that will have a chain link enclosure around an existing compactor. There will also be new paving to access the parking lot and a couple of curb cuts for entries. We'll get more into that on the landscape plan. Demolition. So the first detail listed on this sheet just identifies that a new opening will be created in the wall for connection from the existing building to the new building. So starting at the existing basement level to the first floor plan, these are not in direct plane. There is a 2'9" separation from grade level of the existing basement to the first floor of the new addition. So there's demo to provide a door and access to a vestibule that then will lead to stairs that get you up to get you to our level. And then moving around, going up to the second level, we'll be removing an existing window and lowering that opening to the ground level of our second floor, to put in a door to connect you to that second floor space that we have. And the second floor space is just an ADA accessible vestibule to access an RTU well that we'll also be putting in. Moving up to the third floor, and also the roof will be infilling the existing openings. There are 2 windows there. We'll be infilling those to complete a 4-hour separation between the existing building and the new. Okay, detail 8 simply just indicates this darker area, indicates the 4-hour fireproofing and structure that will create that 4-hour separation and demising partition between the existing building and the new building. The rest of the building is unprotected, non-combustible construction. Moving to the first floor. So as mentioned, this is going to primarily be a 2-story gymnasium annex. over to the north side, the left of what you're looking at, this will be a Hall of Fame, and particularly a special Hall of Fame that will support the competition gymnasium. So this is a higher feature space. We'll get more into what types of finishes that we're looking at there, and also further development of graphics. Moving into the plan, we've got a number of different support spaces. So boys and girls locker rooms are located in the center. There is a small concession stand that just has a sink, not fully equipped to prepare food. Then also not north and south, but east, most location here are men and women's restrooms. And then we've got coaches' offices and also a training room with a hydrotherapy tub and some other support spaces. The gymnasium itself is a 2-position gymnasium that will serve in the northwest direction as a competition gymnasium. And then with a divider curtain that is going in the center, we'll be able to support up to 6 basketball courts, volleyball and badminton capacities. Looking at the finished plan, we are planning to have in that Hall of Fame space VCT. The locker room will be comprised of epoxy flooring and ceramic tile in showers and toilet rooms, and also at the back walls for water fountains. The basketball court will be wood sports flooring, and then the main entry is off of Giles, will contain walk-off carpet permanently installed. Okay, moving to the second floor plan. Again, just indicating that on this level, we have an RTU well that will service the gymnasium as well as the Hall of Fame space and the support space. This center chase will take in the HVAC and distribute to both the gymnasium and to the other areas, and is accessible via this connected link here from the existing building to the ADA vestibule, also with an elevator. Again, noting that 2'9" elevation change. We have an elevator that is put in so that there is access to this rooftop level. Getting into the roof plan, the roof over the, this will be a modified bit roof system. The roof over the Hall of Fame is sloped to the interior to where the RTU well will have a gutter and downspouts. There are roof gutters located throughout that service the rest of the space. This is the reflected ceiling plan for the second floor. Just wanted to note that the gymnasium metal deck is acoustical metal deck. The divider curtain, again, is located in the middle between structure. There are 6 basketball courts or 6 basketball goals. And then this entire space, everything will be painted white. There are acoustical baffles in the Hall of Fame, along with specialty pendant lighting. Perspective views of the gymnasium annex. So starting at the 3rd view, this is the southeast view of the gymnasium. There was much thought given to the landmark requirements. This project is located on a historic site, so we have gone through the landmarks review, and based on comments have updated the elevations to meet landmarks. So that includes banding that ties in with the existing building, and also different reveals and vertical placement of windows with interior elements that point back to the existing school building. So So the school has stone banding going around, limestone, and also has a mix of limestone and brick around the full extent of the building. There are no window guards in the gymnasium. That will be all laminated glazing, both at grade and at the gymnasium clear story. Over on the second perspective, you can see the profile of the existing building. There is an expansion joint that will follow the brick and limestone of the existing building all the way up. That is necessary to keep. And then also to note, there is a 16-inch step back going around the building from that limestone to the brick. Looking at the elevations. So again, there are clear story windows at the gym. These will be laminated tempered windows. The lettering at the front of the annex is extruded halo lit lighting, so it will require power and lighting. There is a wildcat logo on the elevation that will be cut into stone. Existing differences between the height of the existing building and taking in the new building have been surveyed and incorporated into the contract documents already. Right, looking at A302, this is just a view of the second level RTU well. The northeast and the northeast and west elevations are clad in corrugated metal, and the south wall is the north wall of the gymnasium, which is brick. So looking now at sections, so we're looking at sections that take you through the gymnasium primarily, and just noting that from the gymnasium space over to the support space, there is a drop to get to that RTU well. So we're going from a 2-story to basically a 1-story with that support on top. And again, pointing out the need for the accessible or the elevator from the change in grade shown here. And hopefully you can see what I'm pointing at. I know this is small, but just a quick guide through the drawings. Okay, so further looking at a section through the clear story windows, we've got structure buried in the wall, cross bracing that will miss the window openings. There are 2 brick colors represented, a filled color and then a darker brick color. And typical pattern is common bond. Again, the windows here are laminated and also a frit glazing. At the side of the windows are pilasters that have a small relief on the corners. What we saw previously included pilasters, but not actual pilasters, just expansion joints indicating that separation. Okay. We will require a mock-up to be completed. This mock-up is approximately 18 feet high, and 22 by 7'4" on the ground and on a concrete pad. This should include the corbelling as well as vertical and horizontal mullions in the window. This will need to be reviewed and approved by the architect, owner, and end user. The gymnasium will seat 850 spectators. We're providing attached retractable seating on the east and west sides of the gymnasium. We are planning for a custom logo to be painted at center court. And then again, as defined before, there will be striping to indicate the different uses of the basketball court. Going further into the section, just want to note that there will be wall pads along the north and south sides of the gymnasium that are a custom size there to go up to the top of the doors. And then there are scoreboards located both on the north and south face of the gymnasium. East and west sides will also incorporate wood fiber acoustical panels on either ends of the windows. And then looking a little bit more at the Hall of Fame space, this will include wall graphics that include vinyl applied wall graphics, digitally printed wall coverings, and also a number of different types of lighting. So we are looking to have, at the top here, you can see in the perspectives up top, to have front lit extruded custom lettering. This will serve as the main lighting for this space. There will also be pendant lighting in between the baffles, the acoustic sound baffles that are shown. Column surrounds will have perforated metal mesh and translucent acrylic panel for accenting. There is a trophy case located at the west end of the building that will be lit, a recessed lit trophy case. Again, VCT flooring throughout. And I think that is it. There are some details also of connection of this perforated metal mesh covering to the column. Okay, and that completes architectural.
Well, thanks, Rachel. This is Dustin Erickson with Terra Engineering. I'll go over the some of the civil engineering elements, part of the bid package. What we have here is the site demolition drawing. So the existing asphalt parking lot and pavement and base will be removed to facilitate the gymnasium addition and the proposed parking lot. Included as part of the site demolition features will be abandonment and removal of an existing 3/4 inch water service that is across South Giles Avenue, and open cut for the proposed combined fire and domestic water service in South Giles Avenue. There will also be removal of curb and gutter along Giles Avenue for the 2 new driveway cuts and removal of the concrete sidewalk within Giles to facilitate installation and construction of the gymnasium addition, improvements, and parking lot. There will be some mill and grind of the existing asphalt pavement on Giles for the 2 new driveway cuts, and then also as needed for the ADA accessibility ramps and utility cuts across the street. If you can advance to the next. For the site paving plan and geometry, as Rachel mentioned before, there is the building addition, the gymnasium to the northeast corner of the site. And adjacent to the addition on the south and east side is a at-grade 51 parking stall parking lot, and that will be an asphalt parking lot, 4.5 inches of asphalt on a 10-inch stone base. South of that parking lot, there is a trash compactor. So we will be having a concrete pavement section for the trash compactor, and then a new driveway cut there onto South Giles for the compactor, and then also one for the parking lot. In addition, there will be some restoration of the pavement in South Giles Avenue as part of this work for curb and gutter removal and replacement, and then also some sidewalk work within the right-of-way on that west side of Giles, as needed to facilitate construction of the addition. On the north side, there's vacated 38th Street. So that area is vacated, but we'll have some work with the concrete sidewalk in that area. And as you can see in the future plan, we'll be doing like a rain garden infiltration area on the north side in the landscape area. If you can advance to the next sheet, Rachel. For grading, this kind of goes into a little bit more detail of the grading improvements to the parking lot, and then also some blow-ups of what is needed to get the 2 driveway cuts installed on South Giles Avenue. You can see in detail to be at the bottom of the sheet. Those are the 2 new driveway cuts with the accessibility compliant new sidewalk along South Giles Avenue. And then in detail 2 in the bottom of the page, we have just a report of the driveway cut that's at vacated 38th Street at Giles. And then the city is requiring us to redo the ADA ramp at the north east corner of Giles and 38th Street as part of the improvements. And then if you can advance to the next sheet. Rick. This is the utility plan for the site. So there will be new sanitary and new storm sewer services coming from the building, the gymnasium addition. Those will come out along the south and the west, east side of the school. There will be a new water service that would connect the existing water main on the east side of Giles Avenue, west side of the building. Yep. And as part of the City of Chicago stormwater detention requirements, we will be providing a below grade precast concrete detention tank in the south parking lot, hatched in that location. That will provide the stormwater detention for the site. And it will be an open bottom structure, so it'll allow some of the stormwater to infiltrate into the soil. And then all storm and sanitary connections are going to reuse existing combined sewer infrastructure on the property. So there will be no need to have new utility cuts for storm, sanitary, or combined sewer in the public way. The only new utility cut that we will need in Giles is for the 8-inch combined fire protection and domestic water service. And there will also be a new gas service that comes off of Giles, coordinated with People's Gas, and new ComEd service with conduits that would also come from Giles, but that's to be coordinated with ComEd. And I think that would that's all for the civil improvements, Rachel. And then I can go on to Steve for the landscape drawings.
You might be muted, Steve.
Steve. Rachel, if Steve's not on, I can kind of give I could do a quick overview of the
I don't
landscape
see-
plan.
Yeah, I don't see Steve. So if you can,
Okay.
thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I'll wing it. So the landscape improvements includes some trees within the right of way along Giles Street. So there will be a few new trees as required as part of the landscape ordinance, and some improvements in the right of way. The project will also require an enclosure for the new garbage and trash area that's at the southwest corner of the parking lot. You can see there's a piece of concrete pavement within the parking lot that is intentional for the garbage collection and pickup, and then those garbage containers will be within an enclosure. To the south, the existing trash compactor will also be in a fenced enclosure to provide some screening to the parking lot and the school. And at the north west corner of the parking lot, there's an existing transformer that will be part of the ComEd improvements, and that transformer will also need to be screened with an enclosure. And I think that would take care of the landscape drawings, I believe, Rachel.
Sorry about that. Okay, moving on to structural.
Hi, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Gary Corbett with DMA Structural. Just going through the structural. The previous slide just is an isometric 3D rendering, with all the other disciplines turned off, and it just shows the main structural elements. It also shows different elevations of the different roofs. The annex is a steel frame structure with a long span roof joist over the gymnasium and composite decks and beams elsewhere. And its lateral system is brace frames and moment frames, which have been coordinated along the facade with footing on. Annex sits on a shallow foundation system. And this slide here shows the foundation plan. We have spread footings that majority bear 5 feet below the first floor. Some are slightly lower to accommodate things such as elevator pit, existing foundations, new utilities tying into the annex. There's unsuitable, uncontrolled fill at grade, so that's the main reason why the geotech requirement for the spread footings to be slightly lower than you'd anticipate. Slab at grade also requires over excavation and prepared subgrade. These requirements are in the bid documents. The next plan shows the second floor or the low roof framing plan. As I mentioned, it's composite steel framing. Along the perimeter of the gym, you'll notice W-section wind girts to support the lateral load on the facade. On the next sheet, the high roof framing is similar to the low roof. It's composite steel framing. And then if you go to the next slide, you have the gym roof. It consists of long span joists spanning just over 100 feet. They're 80 inches, approximately 80 inches deep at 5-foot centers. The documents provide the basis of design and provide all the loading requirements and criteria, such as snow drift, attachments from below, such as basketball hoops, divider wall, etc. Depth is important to note here. We have supply ducts running perpendicular to the joist. So depth of the joist is important because those are running in between cords. And then the last thing just to note here is that provided all the loading criteria, design criteria for the joist manufacturer to complete their design. The next sheet, we spent a good deal of time studying the existing school where we're abutting with the new annex and the vestibule. So these sheets here just provide detailed information required, elevations of new footings in relation to the existing, as well as locations and areas where we're tying in. The next sheet shows us a couple of unique details for where we have brick overhangs on the north and east facades. We have hung 2 lintels to support that brick. And I believe the last sheet here, I just wanted to note the RTU screen wall. It's approximately 12 feet tall, located in the northeast corner. Tube framing with some steel bracing back to the main roof structure. And that's all I have for structural.
Thank you. Lou?
So Lou Hamilton with IMEG Engineers, MEP. And this first drawing identifies one of the very few scope items that continues into the existing building. The fire pump in the new annex is going to be interconnected with the existing building sprinkler system. And this depicts the route of that pipe as it works its way through the existing building basement. And then this is the continuation as it gets all the way back to the existing fire pump location. A little diagram of how that interconnection gets made. And then once the new system is operational, then the existing fire pump will be removed and the existing building system will be fed from the annex service. Otherwise, fire protection system within the new annex will be standard, fully sprinkled building. Again, the fire pump fed from the new 8-inch water service coming off Giles. This plan depicts with another small item within the existing building, which is because of the new annex water service, the City Department of Water Management is requiring a backflow preventer double check type to be added at the existing building surface. So that's just being cut in downstream of the meter. Everything else plumbing wise in the annex, pretty standard. Storm and routed to the detention tank, sanitary connected to site utility on the north. All the domestic cold and hot water originates from the new water service to the annex. There's no interconnection between the domestic hot and cold water in the annex and the main building. So this just depicting the overhead piping. HVAC, there would be the new rooftop units on the low roof that were mentioned earlier. 2 larger single zone units will serve the gym, and 1 VAV unit with electric reheat VAV boxes will serve the Hall of Fame, locker rooms, offices, and other support areas to the north. Here, just depicting the rooftop units. Ductwork will come off the side of the units and utilize that chase to minimize the amount of ductwork exposed on the roof. Electrical, there will be a new Commonwealth Edison service provided for the annex that is going to originate on the east side of Giles. ComEd is going to bring that across the street, and then as this drawing depicts, it'll be picked up on the west side of Giles, routed through the parking lot around the storm tank and to new transformer location in the corner of the parking lot, and then secondaries going to the building switchgear and the fire pump. Here's the large plan of electrical room and all the various devices within the spaces. Generous amount of power provided in the Hall of Fame space. There's for a lot of specialty lighting and hookups there. Otherwise, pretty standard scoreboard and provisions for scorers tables in the gym. Here, just the rooftop connections and the small area around the elevator. There is a emergency generator that is up on the roof, just strictly to support the emergency lighting in the annex. It's a gas-powered generator. Here the lighting plan. pretty basic lighting for the locker rooms, toilet rooms, and support spaces. The lighting in the Hall of Fame is going to be further developed in an upcoming addendum that will be much higher end lighting than the remaining support spaces. And then the gymnasium, the suspended LED lights. One line diagram, just again, new electrical power service for the annex, no interconnection of the power between the annex and the main building, and then the small generator for the annex only. Fire alarm system. The fire alarm system will be an extension of the system in the main building, as will the intercom system and the teledata systems. There is a separate project being run by CPS to replace the fire alarm system in the existing building. So there will be some coordination between that project and this one involved. Fortunately, the design team, Moody Nolan and IMEG, are the also handling that project, so the documents will be well coordinated. And there is a sound system for the gymnasium depicted here. Here, also, again, just the sound system there.
That concludes the design team walkthrough.
Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Cal to do a project overview. And then may turn it over for someone for the site plan, phasing plan.
Thank you, Laurie. I just wanted to give a general project overview on a number of things that obviously BBC and the team with its partner CPS have been working on.
Hold on, Cal. You sound like I did about 20 minutes ago.
Sorry, let me take a audio, maybe that'll be better.
Oh, you're a little robot-y too. Maybe I
Okay.
Yes.
Is this better?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Sorry about that. So I'll just restart. Yeah, so the team PBC with CPS, its partners, as well as the design team, and in conjunction with the school and a number of stakeholders, have brought this project so far. So I want to give a couple of updates that are specific overall as we think about the project. You've heard a little bit about the school itself having a 1904 landmarked original building that faces Pershing Road. And then two other additions were done in 1937 and 1944 on the northwest end of the school. This is, of course, a neighborhood school. It's serving the Bronzeville community, which is predominantly African-American. The school has a great slogan that we are not just a school, we are a movement, that really is intrinsic to the specifics in how prowess they have in terms of athletics, in terms of its student population. We talked a bit about the Hall of Fame, which the team presented. Just a caveat to understand that it's for reference only. It's a sheet A941 that talked and looked at the interior graphics details. That will be issued separately and an addendum that will be coming out soon. So for your reference, so you understand that. This project has had quite a bit of community involvement and engagement. The 3rd Illinois District State Senator Maddie Hunter, as well as the 3rd Ward Alderwoman Pat Dowell, have been extremely instrumental in making sure that this project is where it is today. In terms of the design and on the other kind of regulatory sides, the team has gone through preliminary reviews with MOPD, fire, DWM stormwater, CTR, of course, for the PRA agreement, have gone through preliminaries, and currently the project is in permit. It's been submitted for permit and going through the various reviews to make sure that we are timely with the process of having the permit ready, which is planned currently in June. We have gone already through the preservation aspects. The landmark was approved back in April, so that's complete. We are in the process of the entitlements for the PD waiver and administrative reliefs for the project, and that's moving forward. So that's a wonderful aspect of making sure that the entitlements as a major issue is on its way. Within the next 30 days, it should be complete. The project has an environmental phase 1 and phase 2 ESA reports. A GPR survey was also done for the project that is also available for access and information regarding the soils on the site. We also have an environmental ACM and lead-based paint survey of the existing school. So the connections that are happening at the link for the annex to the existing school, the scope sheets are in the specifications, and in the report, of course, outlines all of the materials that are impacted in the existing school. There is a geotechnical report that has all of the soil conditions on the site. A number of borings are available to identify any conditions that are related and effective to the annex structural design. Talked about the permit. In terms of the utilities, all the utilities agreements as well as the scopes have gone through coordination really with the major ones. So ComEd, People's Gas, AT&T, and Comcast have gone through identifying where the services are coming from, how are they connecting to our site, the responsibilities on the public right-of-way side, as well as responsibilities within our project limit line. One thing that is affecting the site is the stormwater tank that was talked about in the civil plans and the parking lot. Those have been coordinated with services as well as DWM for the flow rates and other components and requirements to that. I guess next, Randy Williams, PBC construction manager, will go through the logistics plan and talk to you about the sequencing, coordination, lay down utilities, and other aspects related to the limits of the area. So I'll pass it over to Randy.
Excuse me. Thank you, Cal, and good afternoon, everyone. Just want to start out saying that the team, construction team, is extremely excited about this upcoming project for the Wendell Phillips High School community. We have met collectively with the construction team, the design team, with our partners at CPS, stakeholders, with the Phillips community being alumni, as you heard earlier with the alderman and Senator Hunter, as well as our principal, which is extremely excited about this new athletics annex, and then some of the other city subsidiaries that we talked about, and even our utility company. So we worked together collectively to put together this plan, this logistics plan, phasing plan, and as well as the design, as you heard throughout the technical review. This phasing plan is unique in the sense that it's a small, compact site in which, as you see, we're building a new annex. We're putting in a storm detention system, utilities throughout, landscaping, and then there are some upgrades to the existing school trash enclosure, as well as their trash compactor. We'll be building a new enclosure around there. You'll see that in your plans there. As we get there right into the plan there, milestone number 1, June 30th through 2021, ending August 5th, 2021. That is a constraint. We have to be done by August 5th, 2021, as stated by our stakeholders. excuse me, my little one just got home from school. The existing school renovation work, limited existing school renovation work can be handled under this milestone. As you see in the plans there, 1A, 1A1, 1A2, 1A3, we are building a temporary exit that will remain in place until the completion of the project. That work has to be done again during this summer, completing before August 5th, as well as doing some minor demolition for the link from the existing school at the northeast corner as we connect to our new annex there. So that work will have to be done during the summer. There's some temporary partitions within that basement level as you lead out to the temporary exit, temporary fire rated partitions that will need to be installed as well during this milestone. And also within that, we'll be doing some window infills, again, along that northeast elevation there, removing masonry and infilling with, removing windows, infilling with masonry. So moving to site plan number 2 there, substantial completion. That is our new annex, new Hall of Fame space, as well as parking, new parking lot amenities and trash enclosure as well. And that takes us through substantial completion, which is June 30th through March 2022, end of March of 2022. Within that, we did state that the partial of the parking lot will be done. And then as we move into milestone number 2, we'll have the finished parking lot completed. And that work is scheduled for completion of May 2022. That'll be finished parking, finished landscaping, and as well as restoring the temporary exit as well. A couple of, excuse me, a couple of key things to note during this plan. During construction, we want to make sure that the contractors are not parking on Giles or Prairie. Those parking spaces, one side of the parking is for community parking, which there is housing across the street from there, from Giles on the east, and then on the west end of Giles, there will be no parking for contractors, as well as Prairie. That will be set aside for teachers parking only. A couple other things to note: we need to maintain access to the trash compactor and trash enclosure during construction. You'll see that under milestone number 1. There's some temporary fencing that we'll have to maintain to allow the school to operate as they're doing their trash removal. A couple other things to note: there is work that's going to be done inside the existing school that is going to be done by our partners, CPS. I think Lou stated it earlier in the mechanical review. Our contractors only accessing the area around at the link northeast corner. We are not to be inside of the building at no point in time unless it is coordinated with myself and the rest of the construction team, as well as the principal in the school. Want to make sure that all our contractors are entering the construction site only and not through the school. So we'll maintain 2 construction entrances there. And as well as you'll notice in your book 2 that, and even in this plan, the site utilization plan is going to be required immediately after the notice of award, so that we can get sign off from both our CPS partners as well as our principal before starting on the project. And at that, I don't have anything else to go over as far as the phasing plan. I'll either turn it back over to Cal or Lori.
Thank you. I think what we'll do is, I'm going to look forward in the chat to see if we have any questions.
Lori, maybe
Ray,
we can pass it over to Ray for some additional comments regarding kind of construction in general. Ray Gitero. He's probably muted, Ray.
Okay, thank you, Cal. Can you hear me now?
Yep, there you go. You're good.
All right, thank you. Lori, Randy, and Cal, thank you. Renald, you and your team at Moody Nolan, great job. Ivan and Brian, your team, thank you for the collaboration. And as Randy and Cal stated earlier, we have a very engaged and very excited school community, students, stakeholders, and principal. It's been a lot of fun working with the team, CPS, the school, and the stakeholders. So there is a lot of excitement surrounding the school. So I just wanted to say that our confidence in this project is pretty high, and we're excited to get through the procurement phase and start work. Thank you, Cal and Andy, Lori.
So we have a question in the chat. It says, will the project seek LEED certification?
I provided a response. Yes, the project will seek a LEED version 4 silver certification.
Are there any more questions in the chat? Okay, Rachel, if you stop sharing briefly. Thank you. So again, currently we have our bid due date. However, you're gonna make sure you keep apprised to all the addendums and all the alerts that will be sent out. We already mentioned a few things that will be forthcoming, so please be on alert. We appreciate your participation today. And again, this video will be linked on our page. And also please avail yourself to the Senator Hunter and Principal Sullivan video to really give you some context and some excitement about the project. We appreciate you coming today, and we will see you soon, hopefully at the bid opening. Thank you so much. Have a good one.